Hi everybody, it's Stephanie. Well, thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel, which concentrates on commercial credit and collections. Today's video is about the 5 things you can do to get invoices paid quickly and in full. And keep in mind, the slower you go, the faster you'll get there. Now, this can be used in any other area of life, but I'm going to concentrate today on collections in the workplace. And here are my tips. I'm going to go through them really quickly and then go a little bit more into each one. Some of these could each have their own video. The first one is get to know people. Get to know the people that you're talking to. Second, follow the trail. Third, do accounts payables work. Fourth, slow breathing. You're like, wait a minute, what? Come on, what are we talking about here? And then fifth, this I used like once in a while or whenever you want. Tell a joke. Again, you're like, what? Excuse me, this is the workplace. Now I'm going to get into each one of these separately. Get to know people. Yes, this is true, especially in sales, but in any other area. A little bit of getting to know somebody, especially at the beginning, and then carrying it throughout your relationship. When you get to know the accounts payable person or the main point of contact for getting invoices paid, not only does it make your work enjoyable, which you may have noticed, but it's personally enriching. I have found that. Many people that I talked with in accounts payable or who are in charge of getting invoices paid, approved and paid, are like friends, even closer than people you know in person. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Make it a point to get to know people because in the end, you'll have a higher priority. If nothing else, you will get your invoices resolved and paid in a timely manner, maybe even sooner than you expected. In fact, one time I had someone who, I remember Susan from New York, she was laughing on the phone. I didn't know why. And I said, why are you laughing? And then she laughed more. And then she's like, I'm going to send you X amount of money, which was like almost double what I was asking her for. And I'm like, no, Susan, you don't have to do that. Just send what I'm asking you. And then she laughed some more. And then she's like, I'm going to overnight it. I'm like, if you just send it in the mail, that will be fine. She's like, haha, she's laughing some more. And then she mailed it overnight and I got it. Sometimes you have more of an effect on people than you realize. In this case, good. When you are genuine and personal and real with people, you will be surprised at the effect it has on people and how they feel about you. It's really wonderful. As I'm stopping to think about it now, I can almost cry because it's really wonderful. I highly recommend being genuine, real, and transparent because in the end, there are no secrets. That's true in the workplace. That's true in life. You can disagree with that all you want, but I just think it makes life so much more pleasant and easier and keeps people from getting mad at you. And it definitely cuts down on misunderstanding. Be genuine, be open, be personable on the phone with the people that you talk to that are paying the invoices. Listen, everybody wants everything resolved. Nobody likes to have problems hanging around. You know, really, they don't. You want business to go on and on. And speaking of going on and on, let's go on to the next thing. Follow the trail. Yes, the paper trail, the phone trail, the money trail. The main one is the paper trail, which would be invoice and documentation. You're resolving a problem of why an invoice isn't getting paid, and you start with the invoice. To get specific, we didn't receive such and such. Well, then you have documentation like a bill of lading or receive something showing an item was received, showing something that disputing what they're saying. Or let's just say clarifying. And then you can go on from there, and then they can clarify more and more, and you can clarify more and more. So documentation of any kind, an invoice, an email that somebody sent, or whatever, something like that. Follow the paper trail. There's also the phone trail, I call it. Someone will say, well, so-and-so has to approve this. Then you call that person. And this person says, well, this person said this service wasn't done. Then you call service. And then service says, well, so-and-so said that the whatever wasn't working, and they talked to the sales rep. We have the phone trail where you follow the phone call. Even if you have to leave a message, they'll usually get back to you right away, but usually people will answer the phone, and that's just been my experience. And then the money trail. The money trail specifically, cash application, accounting, errors, and that kind of thing, the numbers. Strictly numbers, seeing how they were misapplied. I actually grew to love this. Like I could look at a long list of deposited checks and invoices that were paid and see if something was double paid or if it was transposed numbers or one invoice was paid instead of another, and then this was they thought it was credited. So anyways, the whole thing just with accounting. The money trail, you have the phone trail and the paper trail. Next is do account payable work. Yes, doing the accounts payable, especially of another company, you're like, well, why should I? Why should I do their work? Eventually, Accounts payables work will have to be done, and if it's not done by you who's receiving their check, then it will eventually be done by the staff of the lawyer when you send your account to collections. It was extraordinarily rare that I ever sent an account to collections. The only times I did is if the company had just filed bankruptcy and I had already worked to get something paid before it was completely closed off. Anyways, the point is the work will have to be done eventually, and yes, it should be done by accounts payable or by that company. They should be resolving the problems in order to approve invoices and get them paid. And if they don't, for any reason, whether it's justified or not, it's your job to get the money in and get the invoices paid. I learned a long time ago when I first started. Shout out to Meg Lato. She told me basically there's no excuses. It had actually been my first job in commercial collections. And what I learned there, I carried out through my career. Is timeless, practical, and in my opinion, applicable to many areas in life. Remember, accounts payable or the other company needs to do the job. If they don't, you do it. Remember, if you don't do it, it's going to go to a lawyer or it's going to go to a third party, and somebody's going to have to do it. Might as well be you. You'll get it done quicker. Also, the main thing is that from that point forward, it'll be like more routine, and most likely the accounts payable department at that other company will end up doing their job to get your invoices paid and approved. There you go. That would cover doing accounts payables work. Your accounts receivable, their accounts payable. Okay, here's everyone's favorite, slow breathing. You're like, what? What? Excuse me? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this sounds weird. Okay, yeah, it does. But when I did accounts receivable collections and accounting type things, I noticed that when people were on the phone and they were truly working at resolving something, maybe you've probably experienced this as well, they're like concentrating, and what you're hearing on the phone is their breathing gets a little like heavier and slower. This is male, female, young, or old, across the board. Stay on the phone while they're working through this, because if something comes up, you could answer it right away. And they appreciate you, even though it doesn't seem like they're aware of you. They are, and they are in that comfort zone where they could ask you something if needed, but mainly they're in the zone of resolving the problem, either approving it right then and there, the invoice to get paid, or figuring out who they need to contact to get it paid, or to tell you who you need to contact. Either way, it's just going to be another phone call. That's all part of your job anyways, in my opinion. And then you'll just call and find out what the problem is. Most likely though, they're just going to like take care of it right there, or they're going to make a phone call right then and there after you hang up. I almost always send an email to them. Whatever they tell you on the phone, waiting for your call or waiting for John's in service call by, and then 3 days from there, or 2 days, or 1 day, or whatever you both think is reasonable. And that's it, one line, and then you just follow up from there. The point is that when someone's on the phone and they're like in the zone and they're working on something, stay on the phone. Finally, there is the joke. And I think there's one joke that I've told over and over. I literally probably said it like 1,000 times. I know that seems like a lot. And it is, what do you get when you cross a snowman and a vampire? You get frostbite. I've told that joke many times to customers, accounts payable. I've even told owners of smaller companies. Anyways, I already knew the people, and I knew that, they had at least a little bit of a sense of humor. But there are people out there that don't, and I do know them. Anyways, just use your common sense. And as a recap, let's go through this. Get to know the people you're talking to. Follow the trail, whether it's phone, paper, or money. Do AP, accounts payables work. Slow breathing means your customer is solving the problem. Stay on the phone with your customer. Tell a joke. And in conclusion, I just want to mention again that these are all things that will help you to get your invoice paid quickly and in full, and maybe even more than you expected. Well, thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free again to like, comment, or subscribe. I do appreciate all of it. My name is Stephanie. I'll see you again on the next video.